one request for information for history, and that was our county historian. And I wasn't able to produce a photo from 1914, but he found one at the County Historical Society. But apparently there was a man named Samuel Taylor who lived here in 1914, and he was brought up here, and he got murdered by some poachers. He was a game warden. And they considered him as like a police officer. So the police wanted his photo because they're putting together a nostalgic memoir of all the policemen who were shot down. So thank God they had it. I even called the New York State Conservationist magazine, and they didn't have anything on them. So anyway. And I had a wing strut from an old airplane donated, actually loaned to us from David Wicks in Waterville, and it belonged to Grove Hindman's airplane when they used to have the airport here in Madison. So I have that over at the Historical Society.
How big is that?
Actually, it's only about this big. It's wooden, and he has a whole bunch of them. They have numbers on them, and he just gave us a couple just to give us something from it. And he had been in partners with Miner, I guess his name was, from Riscony Falls, and they found it in an old barn that David had bought. So it was nice to, let us see it. The antique show, I have some photos. I'll start over here, and I'll just have you pass them around. And there's one on the back, too. These are photos of 14 volunteers I coordinated to be on the shuttle bus for the Madison Bountiful Antique Show. And they dressed up in old period costume. And it was a lot of fun. I got the costumes together for them, and they had a really good time. My husband was the bus driver, and it helped make the antique show something different because it provided a shuttle for about 2 miles span, and it also gave people information if they were curious, and it raised about $400 for the Historical Society. So people donated, and that was really nice. We have a speaker program at the Madison Historical Society. Now this is a whole mix of things that I'm involved with, so it's a little overlap. And Jonah Snyder, who's the president of the Madison School Board, is going to be our speaker talking about the history of Madison Central School. And he's fun, and it's going to be nice. Starts at 7 o'clock, Monday, September 16th. We have Town of Madison seniors who are going to go on a trip, partly courtesy of the Town of Madison. They donated some money, and they are taking a trip to Letchworth State Park on October 1st. And this is with Good Time Bus Tours. We leave at 7 in the morning from the Historical Society. All seniors are invited. There's 2 different price points. One's $35 if you reside in the town of Madison, and one is $45 if you don't, but you have to be at least 50 years old. So I qualify. We're going to be going to the museum. We have a tour guide board the bus and gives us a 17-mile tour around by bus, not foot. And we're going to go to the Glen Iris restaurant and then go to a museum. So it's a whole day thing for $35. I think it's really nice. We have a Halloween happening on the Shenango Canal, October 19th, and a rain date of October 26th. And I have to insert, I'm looking for holiday lights. If anybody has either Halloween or Christmas lights or any kind of outdoor decorations, either can loan or give us, we would appreciate that. Some people are clearing out their attics and stuff, so anything, we'll take it. I'm having volunteers come from Colgate on tomorrow afternoon and from Hamilton College on Saturday afternoon. We're going to be hanging them. But anything that comes in after that, I'll get some kind of a workforce to help out. We have a clues hunt. We're going to have a mad scientist laboratory. We're going to have a haunted trail walk and scary movies, and the kids have a good time. And we get help from Dunkin' Donuts and Colgate Bookstore, the Shenango Canal Association, of course, and Price Chopper and Country Cupboard. I did a couple of historic presentations for the New Woodstock Historical Society and also for the Cider House Campgrounds when they had a camp group come in. And I talked about the Shenango Canal, but I told them I could come back and talk about more about Bill Madison and what we have around here. But I got to tell you, too, that a couple of days we had with the work kids from Hamilton College, we had 75 of them last month, and it was during the antique show, the last day of the antique show, and we're juggling through the traffic, and they got to ride on the shuttle bus, and they had a really good time. But those students, actually, you tell them a job to do, and Colgate's the same way. They will just figure out how to do it. You give them the tools and say, this is what you can use, and you figure it out. They also are really good with leadership, and they divide up into groups. We had 50 one day and 25 the next week, and we fed them, and they brought lunches too, but they eat like horses, you know, and it was sweltering hot. The supervisors that helped me on it, I felt so sorry for them. But the kids saw a tree that was down, and they had to hand chop it and hand saw it. It was about this big around, and haul it up to the side of the road to get rid of. So, you know, that's a challenge, you know, to any young boy that wants to use a saw. Maybe he's from New Jersey or New York or something. But they had a great time, and they painted the indoor furniture. They cleared out all kinds of stuff, picked up garbage. They washed and preserved the deck and the picnic tables and the benches and the staircases. The kiosks, everything was looking really good. And we're at the point now where we're hoping to get a little ahead on the building. We've got some money that was donated, you know, some from EEP and some from, I think we have a pledge from you, and we have some other people. And we're hoping to buy the siding and the windows and the roofing and get that done sometimes this fall. But we have volunteers working on it, so you know how that goes. It's going to be whenever they can get to it after their normal jobs. So be patient. We'll look good and new, as good as newer, gooder than newer. And that's about it, I guess. And I'll pass the pictures around to you too when we get them back. Okay? Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can I ask something around?
Yes, you may.
I've heard through the grapevine, because nobody seems to call, so, about the contractors. I hired them right away. And the procurement policy that the town of Madison approved, which the FEMA guy said was legal and everything, is it says emergency purchases pursuant to general municipal law. Due to the nature of this exception, these goods and services must be purchased immediately, and a delay in order to seek alternative proposals may threaten the life, health, safety, or welfare of the residents. And that was when I went by when I hired the contractors to do them too. I mean, I had the pictures. The roads were not safe at all.
That's for sure. You couldn't be everywhere.
No, and we did a big road. West Hill was terrible, and we did that one.
I mean, you had all you could do to keep cones on roads and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a problem.
But, well, and I know there's been some talk about it, so.
Well, there would have been more talk if you hadn't got the roads fixed.
No, there's been more talk if somebody drove in it and got hurt real bad.
Yeah, when you stop and think about it, we made it through this without,
You know, well, nobody getting hurt.
yeah. See, at the county, we're working on budget, just like, started working on here every day. This all the department heads this week are scheduled for every half hour, 2 days steady of just coming in with their budget proposals, and then finance ways and means, which I'm on, to kind of go see what we're gonna do. So that's the big thing going on in the county right now. Except that we're all day today on the courthouse deal, but that's a 2-year-old thing, so I don't know what we're gonna do with that. Other than that, we okay with reports? Unfinished business. I got the school reserved for the 30th of this month. We have a public hearing on the wind power facilities law, and we need a motion to advertise for that.
Make that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. That's done. We've been working on this wind power facilities law for a long time. We're at a point that possibly we can move forward. If we don't do something at the end of this month, we're going to have to extend the moratorium, which I prefer not to do. Next month's October meeting, we're not going to have a full board here. So we need to schedule a special meeting to vote on that law. And if we either vote on the law or extend the moratorium.
Extend the moratorium.
Pardon?
I said, I think you should extend the moratorium.
I've got got the firehouse reserved for October 1st. Greg, you're leaving on the 2nd, right, Greg? So, and also, by then we can be prepared to appoint an assessor. So we could do both things at that meeting.
May I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
You're gonna be able to review the comments in that quick a period?
Hopefully.
One day.
If we can't, then we will do something different. But if we can, we'll be able to move forward.
Just seems like a real short time.
I didn't review them the last time.
So you're gonna stay up all night and read all the comments that are not actually read at the meeting? Make sure that everybody on the board has a copy, photocopy, you know, 5 of them, and read them all night long. Make sure you're well informed.
Or have you already made the decision?
If we can't do it that day, we don't have to do it that day. But if we can do it that day, we'll have things scheduled.
Well, you ignored the 60 comments that were handed in, 4-1, in favor of a safe, reasonable law. So, I never read them as far as I can see, because there were several that were, more than half of them, 25 presented, and the rest of the 60 were emailed in or mailed in. Never reviewed those. But at least postpone for a couple of weeks before you even acted, to kind of continue the sham. So now there's no more sham. You're just blatantly going to ignore the process of a public hearing. That's what it looks like, Ron.
Well, whatever. Do I have a motion?
Whatever.
Extend the
Motion made, do I have a
moratorium.
second? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Under new business, Hillary Virgil, are you here?
Yes, she is.
Okay, come on up.
Hi, thank you for having us here tonight. I'm the director of the Hamilton Public Library, and Dick Carroll, our board president, and Susan Beatty is one of our other trustees who joined us here this evening. And we really appreciate your taking the time to let us come and speak with you a little bit this evening. We weren't sure how much you were aware of the extent the Hamilton Public Library gets used by residents of the town of Madison. And we just wanted to take the opportunity to share a little bit about those statistics with you and to ask for your continued support of our library. You'll see I've given a handout to the council members, but anybody's welcome. If you're interested, you know, you can find me at the library. I'm happy to share the information. On average, on an annual basis, we have about 9,684 materials borrowed each year by residents from the town of Madison. That equates to about 15% of our total patronage. And not to mention, you know, their attendance at our programs and special events, including 10% of our participants from our recent summer reading program.
How many kids were in your summer reading program?
We had, I think, like 110 taking part in the actual reading challenge part of it, which is totally separate from our attendance at the special programs and events, which is, you know, clearly a lot more than that. In addition to those statistics, all of the residents from the greater communities have access to all of our resources and materials at the library. That includes over 40,000 print materials, 3,000 plus items in our media collection. That's ebooks, audiobooks, DVDs, videos, music CDs, things that are held within the library collection but also available online. We have friendly, knowledgeable, trained staff members to help patrons find all of those resources and materials and find out how to use them better, including our new digital services and outreach coordinator, who will help you find access to all kinds of digital databases, reference materials that are online now, so hard to find, print newspapers at this point, which, we carry what we can within the library, but we want people to know that we also have access to those things digitally. Happy to help you find those materials and access them through our website. We have art exhibits on a rotating basis about every 6 weeks or so. There's a featured artist displaying artwork within the library in a gallery space. Local history museum. We serve as a WIC site. We also serve as a site for RSVP and VITA for the tax consultation programs. We're also a site for Madison County Reads Ahead adult literacy and GED tutoring. As a nonprofit organization, we're funded almost entirely through taxpayer dollars. And we certainly help people to find all kinds of information about jobs, government services, requirements. So often now that information is really only available online, and a lot of folks have a hard time finding the access to that information, knowing what to do with it. We're here to help them with that, and we do help them with that. Finding information about other local public services, and in turn providing the ability to apply for jobs and fill out government forms using the computers and a reliable high-speed internet access. It's definitely another challenge locally. For people that might not be able to either access that information on equipment at home, or places around here where you just can't get internet that's able to function at those high speeds. So we're really, we're understanding that that's a role that we play for the greater community. We're very happy to be providing those services. They're certainly very valuable in the area, and we're happy to continue to be doing that. That is our role, and as public servants, that's what we do for the entire community. But we can't do it alone, and we're definitely turning to you for support. We need your help to continue to provide those services. Not that we want them to go away, but we do need help. We'd be asking you, in addition to the other local towns who don't pay taxes directly to the library, but certainly their patrons use the library. We have those statistics broken down. For an annual contribution, financial contribution to the library, we're also advocating for your full support at the county level, advocating for 100% of our library aid. There have been 35% proposals for reductions in funding, and that would impact us significantly. The county does provide some aid to the local libraries. For our library, that's about 3 to 4% of our annual funding, and it helps offset the cost of library services for folks in the surrounding areas who certainly are using the library but not otherwise paying taxes directly to the library. It's a big help, and cuts like that are certainly going to be a real challenge, and then in turn having to come back to the local towns and to be asking for greater support at that level. It accounts, folks using the library from those other areas where there isn't a library directly there to serve them, that accounts for about 40% of our total patronage, and about 39% of that patronage is directly from Madison, from folks from the town of Madison. 96% of our total funding comes from people living in the village of Hamilton or the Hamilton Central School District, even though they only account for about 60% of our total patronage.